So this is the same Abia State that Orji Uzor Kalu says that he would deliver to APC in 2027. Abians, when was the last time you guys had somebody like this? I don't think since the turn of 1999, the turn of democracy, this Fourth Republic, we have had a governor like Alex Otti of Abia State. I don't think Abia State has ever had somebody who you can say, oh, based on this indices, based on that indices, this guy, you know, is doing just like him. Since 1999 up until 2023, Alex Otti was just blessed. Or should I say, Abians were just blessed with Alex Otti. Remember, he almost lost that election. Remember what happened during the 2023 election? It was a back and forth. That particular lady, you know, helped and standing her ground because he mentioned that they bribed her. They brought money, but she stood her ground, you know. And it is so interesting. I mean, what is going on? Alex Otti and Peter Amba of Enugu State are just two governors that are exposing other governors. They are completely exposing other governors because you would wonder, why are we not seeing these numbers play out in Ebonyi? Ebonyi has been too quiet lately. Why are we not seeing these numbers play out in Imo? Imo, you know, a little bit of here and there, you know. And why are we not seeing these numbers also, you know, play out, you know, exponentially in Anambra? We've still, you know, flashes of brilliance here and there, but with what Anambra is and what it has and the amount of resources allocated to it, would we say that Anambra, you know, has this is the best we can get from Anambra and its resources? You know, so it brings us to that point again where we talk about technocrats, those who did business, you know, and run their own companies and maybe run a little bit in the private sector. Because I understand that Alex Otti was a banker, he was an investor, he was a philanthropist as well. So you know that, you know, he ran a business. He gained money. He was able to apply resources to gain more resources. So it's more like a plus for him getting into governance. I just feel that those who have been in the private sector for a while and then they jump into government, they tend to do a little bit well, you know, better than a career politician, as the case may be, because a career politician is always looking at his godfather, always looking at the next place to play politics, always looking at the next place to throw money at, always practically looking at nothing. You know, the people are actually at the end of the wrong for, you know, him, as the case may be. Look at the way he answered those questions.
Your Excellency, as the media people will be going around and seeing what you'll be doing, you know, a whole lot of projects. But what Abia keep asking is that, where is His Excellency getting money to embark on this gingertic signature projects here and there that is making the opposition party to be in confusion ahead of 2027? Thank you very much.
Okay. Where is the money coming from? I keep getting this question, and my response has always been that is my trade secret, my own automobile. And you don't want me to disclose my trade secret. It's called financial engineering. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So when you are able to plan, and then you are also able to encash your goodwill. You know, you have a track record that people believe that what you say you will do. Okay, so I'm able to call Julius Beja and say, start work without giving them a dime. At least I'm not the one saying this. The former managing director who left December 1, when he was introducing his successor to me, I brought him to Abia here and confessed that this was the first time since the 60s that a state government would hire them, get them to flag off a route, and then get them to mobilize to site and start work without receiving a dime. But then he added that the payment schedule I gave them, that I didn't only keep to it, but I did it faster and paid them more than what we agreed in 3-4 months. So that is what track record does. So tomorrow if I call them and say, go and start another job, I'm sure they will be willing to do that. So other than that, the rest is my own automopo that you have to live with me. Thank you.
You know, bringing in goodwill, knowing that, you know, you would think that what he just said, the answer he gave is just one of those things. You're the governor now, anybody can obey. It's actually a lie. There are some governments that some contractors have marked and said, if these people don't pay me at least 30%, 40%, or even mobilization fees to get to the site, they're not going to go to the site because they have had issues with them over time. A case in point is, you remember the story between Innocent and Imo State government? You would think that, come on, Ibo's Innocent is screaming that they haven't paid him for the supply that he did for Imo State government. That is terrible. So how do you want a business to grow, an Igbo man's business to grow? If he were to go and buy a car if you were to ship in a car from abroad, are you going to not pay them? But you have somebody who gave you a vehicle for years, and you know these vehicles have been supplied, and then you're not paying them, and then you are telling them that the cars have broken down. I don't understand. But when they supplied it to you, the cars were good. So when we have technocrats, even though you could say it's not all technocrats, all people who have come from the private sector that would do well in government, but there's a level of enthusiasm that comes with coming into power from a private sector. You know, so much is expected of you, so much is given to you, for crying out loud, and it behoves on you to etch your name in the sands of time. You know, so I'm just trying to, you know, explain to you what really happened there, because it feels like it's one of those talk now. He's not the governor. He says that he just calls and start this road. That's it. The next thing that they're mobilizing, that in the next 3 months, they know that he will pay them their monies, even much more than what is accepted or agreed in terms of timeline of payment. What does that tell you? Somebody who it's not just about his goodwill, but about his charisma, his relationship, and what he says he would do, his promises to the people, his promises to you. You know, and it's a totally different kind of person. And the same thing what we're seeing with Peter Mba. When he says something, he's careful with his words. He doesn't just go out saying something or trying to make somebody feel good or feel nice or feel okay. He says what he would. If he says he hasn't done it, he will explain to you why he hasn't done it. And these are the only 2 governors, correct me if I'm wrong, that actually do regular media pallies. Regular media pallies. What does that mean? They want you to speak, to criticize them, tell them, look, this thing you did here, this thing you're about to do here, this thing you promised to do. You know, bring them to the table to ask them why they are not doing what they say they are going to do. Yes, well, we've seen Soludo also do a little bit of media pallies, but it's not as elaborate. You know, I mean, we know Soludo is tenacious, is loquacious, is someone who is outspoken. I mean, you can't take away his oratory from him. He is that good when it comes to speaking. But I wonder why he's not pushing his numbers. You know, what we see, you know, is not being projected, or except he's doing, and you know, these things are not being projected properly. You know, you can't categorically write him off and say he hasn't done anything in Anambra. I mean, you can't do that. He has been doing something, but whether that doings is not being projected, or it is overshadowed by other things, by other factors, which could be maybe security issues and all of that. So it's a potpourri of things. It's a potpourri of things. Maybe the media wing that is not pushing his numbers out there, or security situations, is actually dampening his shine, or that the Anambarians, you know, were expecting like 120%, whereas he comes out to say he's human. I mean, he's done 60-70%. You know, those factors could be some of the issues that probably maybe that he may be facing. But then beyond that, they're sticking with Abia State. So this is the same Abia State that Orji Uzor Kalu says that he will deliver to APC in 2027. This is the same Abia State that Orji Uzor Kalu swore, and even most likely even promised President Tinubu that he's going to deliver Abia State. What's his name? Alex Otti will defect. The worst that can happen, at least if he doesn't defect, then we're going to beat him at the election. He promised he's going to deliver Abia State. Orji Uzor Kalu that almost lost his election because of the Peter Obi mantra, the Peter Obi sweeping popularity. This same Abia former governor is saying that he's going to deliver Abia State to APC. Onto what? As what? As God? Or what exactly, on what basis would you take Abia State to become APC? After you run under PDP, and then you run under IBAN, we saw your performance. Within 2 years, this man has completely exposed all the governors that actually come in there. But exposed you guys. The little monies that he's getting, at least you can, an average Abians can feel that there's a government in place, can feel it. Like, you know, that kind of thing, like you feel that the government is, yet we will have a government. That thing was non-available under the last administration, even the last, since 1999. Then all of a sudden you wake up from morning and say you want to deliver Abia State. You want to deliver Abia State to APC. Let's listen to him.
When I went last to see President Tinubu, he was not very happy on the situation of Abia. And I gave him my word that we are going to work hard. We are going to work hard to bring back Abia to be very strong union like any other state. And the president knows that we, as leaders of Abia, are capable of doing that. So, and we are going to do that. We are calling all leaders. Nobody will be left behind. We're in government. Everybody must rule with us. If anybody doesn't want to rule with us, we rule him. So it's better they join us to rule with us. So I believe that we'll achieve our desire, because the most important thing is for the party to be very strong and speak very loudly in our.
Well, Abians, it's all up to you. 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 Because again, like it or leave it, you know how their mantra is, grab it and run with it. That is their mantra. So I'm not sure you're going to allow them to grab it and run with it. And speaking of APC, APC has been on the lowest of the rung in the Southeast because of so many factors. One of them is the marginalization. APC entrenched marginalization, and the marginalization was skewed mostly against the Igbos. There's no sugarcoating it. He's not here. I'm not here to debate whether it is wrong or right, is true or false. It is true. It is a state-sponsored marginalization. The one that Nnamdi Kanu have been shouting. All he was shouting at the time was, give us level playing field. If you appoint Mohammed, also appoint Chinedu. If you appoint Shegun, also appoint Chichibuzo. Just give us a level playing field. Not appointment comes out. You have 5 appointments. Hausa picks, Fulani picks, Yoruba picks, sometimes South picks. Then when it comes to Southeast, you say, let's give it to Fulani again. That was all Nnamdi Kanu was saying. Give us a level playing field. Let everybody play in a way that you could look at and say, okay, this is good enough. It's good enough. But no. Instead, the government wanted to kill him. His single act since 2017. He's still in detention till today, 2025. And I'm sure he might even get to 2027. And again, like I mentioned earlier in one of my posts, one of my stuff, they want to use them for election. By 2026, next year, they would now release him and say, oh, Tinubu has done well for you people, Igbos. He will want to solve all the problems that you people have by bringing in, he wants to now make you forget all the marginalization he has done against you, and then by releasing Nnamdi Kanu to you, then when he wins in 2027, he goes to the orthodox move. In fact, he comes with his imagine what his second term will look like. Imagine what his second term will look like. Look at the number of appointments that this guy has made, skewed to the Southwest. Even the North has been complaining. You have a vice president North. The man know the sea road. The man know the sea road. All these rumors we're hearing about him being pushed aside. There is no smoke without fire. Don't quote me, but there is no smoke without fire. The guy is gnashing his teeth. After all, what did they say vice president is? They say spare tire. After all, that was what Osibanjo was when Buhari was there. So it's always like that. If once someone is the president, the other person that is the vice becomes the spare tire. It largely does nothing, except for attending events, going for wedding ceremonies, and going for birthday parties, and cutting ribbons left, right, and center. So it is preposterous for anybody to think that APC will win any place in the Southeast, given what the Southeast is right now. I mean, except for the fact that Imo State, we know the power of incumbency that Hope Uzodinma used. If it wasn't that, APC wouldn't have been in power in Imo State in the first place. Imo has always been PDP, and maybe also lately Labour. Labour won at the presidential level. And then he was scared. He had to deploy every arsenal that he has, to get the numbers that he claimed he got in that particular election. And then we all know how he came into power. APC scored 4th. Then the Supreme Court left 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then gave it to 4th. I mean, that one is not even debatable. Is it Ebonyi State? We all know how Ebonyi State is APC today. Umahi was looking out for how he can be relevant after his governance, ETS governance in Ebonyi State. He found out that the only way he can be given a position is by taking Ebonyi to APC so that he can be seen, he can be appointed. In fact, he played a very good card. He was looking at for anything possible that can get him something inside the federal. He cannot finish governorship in Ebonyi State and then sit at home. No, he wants to be relevant further. So he vied for Senate senatorial position. He got it. And then from there, the president now appointed him. You did well in Ebonyi by giving us APC. Take position, come and chop. So, APC has no bearing in the South East because the sentiment is still there. That sentiment that is still existing. It's the painful sentiment of the South, of the North, of APC not giving an Igbo man their ticket. And PDP also, the Southeasters also have that resentment for PDP too. We cannot come all the way, for crying out loud. PDP was formed by an Igbo man in 1999, and the president had to step aside because he wanted a Yoruba man to become the president. Igbos haven't tested it, not once since 1999. But the opportunity has brought itself, and yet they are rotating it out amongst themselves. So the sentiment and the resentment is still there for these parties. And until they correct it, I don't see Igbos voting anybody around APC. That is exactly what it is. So anybody who asks you a question, why do people hate this party? After all, party is a vehicle. It's a vehicle, but it's a cancerous vehicle. This is something that I have spoken to people. I'm a journalist. I speak to people every day, and frankly speaking, these guys, they don't want to hear anything APC. Not when you're having one of their brothers in detention, telling them because he said he wants people to give people every level playing ground, appointment and all of that. Well, maybe his approach might be off the card. But what has he done that somebody else has not done, or even done worse? So what are we saying? So it's APC has no bearing. The only way someone in the APC would win is when they are incumbents. And they are incumbents, they may be using their powers to move things around. But aside that, it's a no way.